Hi guys, my name's Faye Louise.
And I'm Jossie Yandel.
And this is Now That's What I Call a Talk Show.
And as you can see, we are still in isolation. Welcome to the new normal.
This is the new normal. I can't really wait. And I was just saying to Jossie before we went live, I miss her being next to me. Is anybody else out there experiencing that? I miss my best friend. I miss my confidant. And I know I can chat to you on phone and we're on here, but it's not the same.
No, it's not, but it is the way it is. And me and Faye were talking about before, because we were thinking, right, what can we talk about, as we start the show? And to be perfectly honest, there isn't really anything else going on in the world other than Corona. You cannot escape it. And me and Faye were talking last night, and we realized that we're kind of experiencing this pandemic a little bit differently to each other. So let me explain while Faye's on socials. So I because of my job, I'm very much working on the front line. So I've had to socially distance for at least a week prior to this. And now that we're on an unofficial lockdown, I'm completely isolated. I can only leave the house to go to work, walk my dogs, get absolute essentials. And
today, Jossie, we both went for a walk with our dogs, walked past our mum's home, and waved at the window, through the window, to say hello. It was so bizarre.
Because I messaged Faye after I was coming home from my mum's, and I said, I can be a bit of a strange one, and I'm a bit of a weirdo. However, this is even too weird for me. But I had to say to my mum, I was like, if this is what we can do, then this is what we can do. I can come when I'm walking my dogs. I can come over to your house and I can wave you outside the window and go and have a nice little chat. It was very strange.
It was very, very strange. But before we do start the show, Jossie, how are you?
I'm all right. Yes, I'm all right. I think work's keeping me very, very busy. And I am very much on the front line. I was talking about this with my colleagues the other day, but I've never felt so proud of my job than what I am at the moment, because I really think that, so where I work, I really feel that we really are, I think we're leading the way. I think we're following all the guidelines that we should be following, because we have to keep the residents safe, and not as well as the residents, ourselves and those around us. So we all have to kind of realize that it's not just about us, it's about everyone.
Oh, massively. I mean, how is everyone doing out there? Hi, Samantha. We hope you're being safe and looking after yourself. I'm okay. I'm really isolated though.
I know
it's hard to be so isolated, but I'm learning new things. I'm keeping myself busy. I go out with my dogs. I'm able to communicate with different people. A lot of support networks out there at the moment. So I'm just trying to continue as normal. It's very hard not to see you, but we have a pleasure of guests on the show today.
We do. We have a fantastic lineup. We have not one, we have not two, but we have three queens.
Yes, we do. Yes. Speaking of queens, where's the Queen's speech? Hello.
Yeah, well, they did say that the Queen was going to address the nation. You never know. One of our queens might just address the nation on our show.
That's correct.
We have three queens addressing our nation.
Our first guest, of course, is the fantastic
Darienne.
And then we have the beautiful and talented
Divina
DeCampo, sorry. And of course, we have the fantastic and so funny Bag of Chips. They're all going to be joining us throughout the show, full interviews, and just seeing how they're doing and what they can bring cheer to us today. Yeah. How is everyone else doing? We want to hear your comments. Don't forget to follow us, like us, and share our live videos on Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, and of course, YouTube. Samantha says she can't go out, totally on lockdown with her health. Well, I'm definitely want to know that. My health I've had a cough for so many days now. I thought it was going to be the virus. Nothing's progressed, so I feel a little bit better now. But it's, as you can hear, it's still there. And I mean, because I had influenza type A pneumonia a few years ago, so I was in a coma. So me being ill, and then with COVID-19 going around, it could be fatal. And I mean, what would you do if you didn't see me anymore?
I keep telling her she's got far too much to do, so she must stay in the house. I know it's absolutely cracking you up, but you've just got to do it.
Who's going to do the live videos after all? So we want to hear from you guys. Of course, if you've got any questions for any of our guests, get in touch, comment straight away. I can read the comments and I can put them up so we can ask the queens directly. Second of all, the soaps are going. We're going to run out. We are going to run out of Coronation Street.
So it's just flashed up on my phone. The number of UK coronavirus deaths has jumped to 422.
Wow. Live just in, that it has jumped to how many, Jossie?
It jumped by, let me just get this thing up again. So it's risen by 87.
So double than it risen yesterday. God.
So yeah.
And I mean, this is another thing, like social distancing. I mean, I was out for a walk with the dog today, and I was saying to people, do you understand how far it is? 2 meters. It's over here. And I had my husky and all my other dogs, and your dog, of course. And I was like, this is how far you need to be away. And I was seeing people gathering in groups, waiting outside of the shop. And I'm like, have you got a brain cell? Like,
well, we've seen on the news today that the tube was absolutely jam-packed.
Oh, but well, you know, Jossie, though, I will say, though, are those pictures accurate? You know what they're like.
Yeah, well, people were on social media sharing them live as it was happening, so I believe so. I can quite believe it. It's just absolutely insane. But I was watching the news before because, God, let's face it, I think we all are. And it said that people are going to be fined £30. It's just absolutely insane. So the thing is, we're officially not on a lockdown, but we are in all but name. That's how I see it. And I you know, me and Faye, we have friends in other countries, you know, friends in Spain who are saying that where they are, yes, the strict measures are in place, but the police aren't having to enforce them because people are actually complying and they're going along with it. And
exactly, that's the thing though, Jossie. I went to the park yesterday. It was busy. There was a coffee truck up. People were paying with money. And then the day I went, it was very quiet. There was no one around. And yeah, people were keeping the distance. But I'm like, God, it took that. It took for the Prime Minister to be like, you know what? I'm enforcing this, blah, blah, blah. And I just think if we didn't have these guys supporting us in power as much as they can be pinheads, where would we be? We'd still be having mass gatherings and businesses would just be, I feel, can be very greedy.
Well, they could, because people will always, well, not everyone, but some people will always put greed above anything else.
But do you really think people should be thinking like that? Do you not think we all need to stand together?
By and large, I do believe that the majority of people, majority of the Great British public are thinking like that, and I think we're all kind of coming together. From where I'm sitting, a lot of people, carer friends of mine, we've all been in contact with people that I used to work with in other services from years ago. We're all kind of supporting each other, and like we've kind of got a bit of a network going on because we're experiencing the same thing. And I think we touched upon this on our show last week, but this is something that is affecting the entire world. And I don't think that has ever happened in anybody's living memory that I can think of, that everybody's experiencing the same. Yes, of course, the world has changed at various points, but it's changed differently for different people. Whereas this, it's one common enemy, and it's just, it could just spread. And that's the worry, that this virus could mutate, that younger, healthier people will start to become more will start to be suffer more, and we need to
It's
keep the
already
numbers down.
started though, Jossie. It's already actually started. People are getting younger who are contracting the virus. They have no underlying health issues and they are dying. This is something that, of course, if you're at war with someone and there's weak people and then the strong people, the weak are going to die first, like natural. So, because we need to look at this like a war, as much as we're not, we are fighting back as a government and as a society, as a planet. And I just think people don't actually realise that it's almost like someone walking along the street with a gun, bang, 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 bang. And it has no judgment if what colour skin you are, where you come from, what sexual. This is actually a it doesn't care who you are. If it can get you, it's going to get you. And people are ignoring that. Some people that I'm witnessing doing good things. Some people that I'm witnessing being selfish, if I'm honest.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I seen quite an interesting, I guess it was a meme, that said, you know, people are saying that coronavirus, it only kills 3% of people. Somebody said, I'll put it to you like this. If you had a bag of Skittles and 3 of them Skittles were poisonous, would you still eat them, or would you just go, I'm not going to have that? It's kind of the same thing. Guess numbers wise, very small, but it can spread, and that's the worry. And we don't want any of our vulnerable people to suffer anymore. We must keep them safe. It is so important to keep them safe, and it is hard. It's hard for families. Anybody who has a birthday coming up in the next few weeks.
My partner's birthday is tomorrow, and I'm sorry, can't do anything.
Can't do anything. Not at all. Well, my mum's birthday is on the 3rd of April. A neighbour dropped off a parcel for her yesterday. I literally left it at the door. Chocolates, flowers, and a 9-pack of bog roll. That is the sign of the times
you could ever want, and this time ever need. I think it is crazy how people are buying bloody toilet roll and hand sanitizer by the bucket load. It's very strange.
It's going to become currency, isn't it?
Absolutely. Currency will be bog roll and probably nicotine eventually. I was watching a show, I think yesterday, and it was kind of World War, you know, that kind of thing. And the first thing the woman went for was nicotine when all the shops it was actually War of the Worlds on Fox. But it was really good. Probably the best adaptation I've seen apart from the film. But it was like, obviously, like there's riots, etc., etc. But there was people in the street dead, and it was like weird because some places in the world that is a reality, and it's the similarities to this is getting so scary. But let's stop talking about that nonsense.
Yes, because we could just keep going on about it. Yeah.
Well, our first guest is a legend.
Oh, a superstar.
One word, legend. We welcome to our show, Jossie. Take it away, darling.
We would like to welcome to our show the fabulous Darienne Lake.
Hello. Hi.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Very good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. You know, just been playing with Snapchat filters and passing the time. You know, bored as fuck.
I think that's what everyone's going to be doing. I think social media is going to get a throttling over the next couple of weeks.
Oh my god, it's too much. Every time I sign into Instagram, it's like this one's going live, that one's going live, and I don't even follow that many people. So.
Oh, we noticed that. We noticed the amount of live videos that are now around. It was very, very cool. But I think it's great that there's something there as a platform for people to jump on and continue to spread their message. But we want to get down to you, forget everyone else. And of course, since your time on RuPaul, what has really been your career highlights over the years that you just look and you think, wow, that was like amazing?
There have been so many. I think one of the first things that really stood out to me was when I was in the gay pride parade in New York City. Like, it was one of those things where, like, as a little gay, you're like, oh wow, you see those people, and then you get to do it, and you're like, I'm doing this with, you know, everybody in the world. And so that was like a huge thing. And World Pride in Toronto was actually the same weekend, so that was a lot of fun. Doing it with Adore Delano and Bianca Del Rio and Courtney Act was, you know, because we still, to this day, still friends, talk almost every single day. So, you know, it's great. And I think that's really such a great highlight too, because you think, like, when you go on the show, you know, and you're like, you know, almost 40 years old, you're pretty much set in your ways, thinking like you're not going to find new friends or new best friends, and then you do. And so it really opens up your eyes to know that things can change in your life, you know, because even right before Drag Race, I was ready to quit drag. I was tired of it at some point, you know, and I was just like, well, maybe this is it. You know, I'm going to be 40 and maybe it's time to retire. But, you know, there's so much right around the corner. So
absolutely.
Then, you know, of course, traveling the world, you know, getting to see places that I never thought I'd be able to do on my hairstylist income and budget and whatever. So doing that. And doing it while I'm still relatively young, you know, like, what's the point of saving up money for retirement to do things when then you're no longer physically able to do it? So live in the moment, live for now. So
yeah, that is very true. Well, from watching you on the show and obviously your career since, we can see that you just ooze body confidence. But how do you hold on to that and continue to shine when we live in a world that is just full of trolls and nasty people? What do you say to them haters?
I mean, I don't say anything to those people. I just block them and move on. And there's just, you know, they're not involved in my life. As much as like any other person that's not, like, I don't give a fuck really at all, you know. So I'm just going to keep being me. You know, fat acceptance is not just about saying like, hey, yeah, everybody's fabulous and everybody's, you know, well, it's not saying that everybody's healthy at every size. Like, I don't believe in the whole healthy at every size. I believe in that you can accept me for being a fat person. You know I've got a lot of things to work on or whatever when it comes to that, but I'm not going to hate myself because of it. You know, that's like, you know, being, you know, just hating yourself for whatever reason, you know, for whatever body flaw you have. Why are you going to hate yourself for that? You know, I met a girl at DragCon one year, and then the following year she came back and she showed me a picture and she had lost like 150 pounds. And I was like, wow. And she's like, you know, I've done this. I did the gastric bypass or whatever. And, you know, I'm like, great. That's fantastic. Are you happy? And she's like, oh my God, I'm so happy. I'm so thrilled. I'm like, what if you didn't lose any more weight? And she's like, and I'm like, now you're discounting your happiness if you don't lose more weight. Just be happy. You know, you said you're happy, be happy. So I think that you have to be happy in the moment. You can't be happy with everything of your life. I mean, you know, our asses could be smaller or thicker. You know, our pockets could be bigger. You know, it's whatever it is. So that shouldn't rely on your happiness. So
we had a question come in from Caroline, and she said that she loves seeing curvy girls represented on RuPaul, and she thinks you are amazing and one of her favorite people. But she's never seen a winner yet, and she wonders if you think drag still has a lot of catching up to do, especially Drag Race UK and the American version, where there still hasn't been a fuller figured woman who's won.
I think that I think they're doing a great job. You know, I think Eureka has been our most recent where we thought maybe she could win the crown. Unfortunately, she got overshadowed slightly, very slightly, by Aquaria. And so, I think it comes down to fashion looks better on thinner people, on smaller people. That's why the models usually are that size. So I think that's part of the case. And it seems like, you know, you get extra points for that. So I think that, you know, when we have a big girl who can do all those things, then we'll have a winner. But I'm not going to be bitter and say that somebody should win just because they are big. you know.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. I don't believe anyone should.
Yeah.
You've been coughing a lot. Are you quarantined, by the way? So.
Yes, I'm quarantined. I'm coughing
Cheers.
because I have a damaged lung area from years ago when I was in a coma. So
Okay.
any type of little sneeze and I'm just like coughing away. But yes, I'm all on
Okay.
my own.
All right.
Thank you for your concern. Bless you.
Just making sure, you know. I believe that if healers can heal each other through the TV, then I could probably catch a disease through the TV. So.
Well, let's hope not.
God, let's hope not.
Yeah, let's hope not. So you mentioned before, you know, working with Adore and Bianca and Courtney, and you know, we absolutely love it when we see our favorite queens collaborate. And you know, you've had so much success in the USA and beyond. But how do you think things are going to be different now? Obviously, with what's going on in the world.
With different in what way, as respect to Drag Race and the girls who are competing right now, or
so sort of like performance. So obviously, everybody knows that performances have obviously finished. Do you think there's maybe more inventive or different ways to do it, or you know, is it something that's going to be very much a solo thing?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the thing. We are trying to find a way to continue to entertain, whether it's through other sorts of media or even performing, you know, live for tips or what have you, or even like the online drag fest that they're going to be doing. So it's a way for these queens to continue making money at their job and stuff. I've been lucky enough that I still do hair, so I still have that. But right now, you know, all salons are closed. So I'm not making money there, but I guess being old enough, I set away like an emergency fund. But you know, we're all going to have to figure out ways to survive and keep going on. And you lose a lot when you don't have the audience reaction there. So that's a hard thing to do. But you know, even when you're you know, trying to or I don't know, it's really hard because a lot of the interaction comes from the crowd as well, which can make a show just fantastic. And even when you're ragging on somebody in the audience or something, you know, and giving them shit, so or they're giving you shit back, and the alcohol really helps too. You know, it helps to have, you know, the audience at home drinking a few cocktails, enjoying the show or whatever. So you don't really get that online and stuff, but where there's a will, there's a way, you know.
Speaking of fans and, of course, audience, you must have been and met some excitable people over the years. But what is your most craziest fan moment where you've just thought, wow, you bitches are bat crazy, wow?
I think it was somebody who was sending me messages and they were saying how
was it me because I stalk you.
right yeah, well I know where the block button is, and so no, this person was saying like, I know that you're going to be in this town, in this city. I know that they usually put the girls up in this hotel. Are you going to be there? I'm too young to get into the clubs, so could I just meet you before or after, or that kind of thing or whatever. And I was like, okay, fine. And then the next time that I was down in that city, I was with other girls, and the person was writing and they were like, oh, I'm going to come to the hotel again. And I was like, well, oh, we're not really staying at that hotel. And then once I went through their profile, because I stalked them right back, I realized that they are old enough to get into the club. Like whatever their excuses, they just wanted like some sort of free meet and greet or something. And it's not to say that I won't meet people for free. It's just don't lie about your situation and then expect me to have compassion, you know. So I would say that's when I thought like that some people take advantage of the situation or they're a little nutty. You know, there's some that are excitable and stuff and give you gifts and things and that's very sweet. But, you know, I don't ever judge somebody because I also don't know what somebody's finances is. Like this one girl was always like giving like Build-A-Bears away. And I'm like, do you work there or something? She was like, no, I just go there. I'm like, these are expensive. Like, don't do this. Like, you know, but then again, I don't know what her finances are. I don't know if she's like, you know, some millionaire heiress or something. And
she's an heiress.
Yeah, exactly. So, Yeah, and recently, actually, a girl just sent me. She was going to go to DragCon, but since it got canceled, she was really upset. And she was like, "I had some gifts for you, so can I send them to you?" I'm like, "Sure." So I had her send them to the salon. That way, in case there were a bomb or something, it would blow up the salon, and I wouldn't have to worry. But but it's like chocolates and things and treats and whatever. So
that's really nice, and I think that's lovely to know that your fans are there and they genuinely think about you and care about you and follow your journey. I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, you get a lot of artwork and stuff, and some of it, like you try and hang on to it as long as possible, but then after a while, you're just sort of like, I have to repurpose it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. We can't really escape talking about Corona. It just literally it is everywhere. Like it is literally everywhere. But we would just like to know from you to let us know, and your fans, our fans, how are you coping with isolation? How are you doing things where you are? Are you okay, Darienne?
No.
Please say you're okay.
No, nobody calls me. No, I'm doing really well. I think it's sort of that yin yang thing, it's for somebody who's like an extrovert and on stage and all that stuff. I do have that side of my personality that's closed off and quiet, and that's why I don't share too much. Like, I'm not somebody who's posting like every 5 minutes, because that's not me. I like sort of my solitude as well. I'm a middle child of 5, and growing up, like, I never had privacy. So then to have my alone time is just exactly what I need. Sometimes just sort of calm and refocus and figure out things that I need to do. Or I'm also a procrastinator. So, it's like, this gives me the chance to finally go through my closet and take stuff out and get rid of it and donate it and stuff, and finally clean out the garage and all that stuff. So I'm finding projects to do, anything to keep me away from the fridge. So, because that's the hardest part. You're like watching TV or something, like, I could go for some popcorn or something, and and then like watch a whole movie, and you're like, I could probably go for some ice cream or something, and so it's finding, it's like the idle hands of the devil's playground. I know that a lot of friends who are like alcoholics or users, they never were so bad in the club, but they were bad at home. Once they got home, that's when they were using really bad. And so for me, being a food addict, that's sort of where, when I'm home, I'm like, okay, so I got to find something to do. Jerking off or something, just something to keep me busy.
Absolutely.
Got to do what you got to do.
I'm like that with food, and I bought loads of Jaffa cakes because I was gonna like have them after I took the dogs for a walk, because I'd heard that was really good for energy. Yeah, I bought them yesterday and there's none left.
Right.
And this was like a 4 box of Jaffa. I demolished them. It's so bad, and I can't stop. And it's a bit of an addiction.
Yeah,
and I think
it's horrible. It's like,
food is so important.
Yeah, because mine is like, I'm not gonna bring it in the house. I'm not buying it. And then next thing I know, I'm like, find myself looking on Pinterest for like how to make a cake in a mug in like a minute. And I'm like, oh, I got toothpaste and old flour. Done. So,
lovely.
Yeah.
So in the USA, do you feel like your government is dealing with the pandemic correctly? Obviously, we're on lockdown in the UK.
Yeah, no, the US government is not doing what they should. I think the problem is Americans love their freedom. They're like, they want their freedom. Nobody's going to tell me what to do. Like, I'm going to go outside and I'm going to have my guns. And a lot of people are buying guns because they're afraid that people are
we've seen that.
Start the purge and everything. And I think that's the problem with Americans. I think also the people who are doing the right thing and isolating themselves will do it for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then be like, okay, well, it's 2-3 weeks. I didn't have any symptoms. I'm going to go outside. But that's when everybody gets reinfected or whatever. So we just
it'll mutate.
Yeah, exactly. And so, it's just going to continue the cycle going on and on. Or they'll be like, well, I think I had it, so I'm fine now. But yeah, it's So, and then of course, our government right now is trying to figure out a way to send everybody sort of money, but then both sides of the, government parties are trying to add certain things to this bill, being like, oh, well, let's give them money, but also we want money for this. And it's like, they can't focus on one thing. So there's nothing but arguments and fights. And so yeah, I'm going to ride it out for a while until I do have to start asking people for money online, but I don't think that'll happen.
What do you think about that though? What do you think about the way people are doing like a give us tips and we'll sing and dance? What do you think about that?
I can either click yes, I'll tip you, or no, I don't have to. And that's, that's the thing. I will never understand what other people's finances are like because that's not my business. So, I don't know how struggling somebody is. And, if they ask for it, fine. It's like the people who come up to me on the street and ask for $1, like I'm going to look at them and think, am I going to give this person $1? I'm going to buy them food or whatever, or I'm just going to pass them by, So it's, that's the thing. I can either say yes or no, so.
Yeah. I think each to their own.
Yeah. If it's, go right ahead, you like, and I would never, I don't know, knock anybody for that. There are certain people like, people who are constantly flexing, like, the things that they have or whatever. And then if you're going to ask me for money, I'm like, no, girl. Yeah. Not when like last month I saw you in your BMW, parked in a handicap spot. So no.
Ignoring me while I walk away. Right. Yeah, I get what you mean.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we have seen how the entertainment industry already is suffering. There's so many shows being cancelled, so many live performers, are having to cancel tours.
Yeah, like we had the Haters Roast tour canceled and everything. So, that's money that I'm not. And that's the thing too, is a lot of people are like, well, I'm not going to help some Ru girl because she should have Ru girl money. And, it's like, again, you don't know what anybody's finances are. And, with becoming a Ru girl comes Ru girl prices. When you're going to buy a wig, it's no longer $100, it's $800, Yeah. When you want to buy a dress, it's no longer $150, it's, $1,000. So with that comes, it's like the whole, when you make more, you spend more. And so, yeah, it's tough all around. And so again, I'm not going to make any judgments on somebody. So if they want to do, something creative and create a show, there's certain people who I think it would be hard for. So,
like booked gigs, tours that everything's been booked in. Has any of the managers or event companies, have they honoured any of those bookings, or at least gave something so you aren't just left with nothing?
They have, well, I know Murray and Peter, they have contacted me and they said, that they are pushing everything further out. So, once the money comes in, it comes in for everybody. So once you do your show, you get your pay. But there are, working hard and also asking our advice. Like, when do you think this will, start back up again? Like, how far do you think that people will even buy tickets, or they'll be too scared to be in an auditorium or something, with all these people?
That's where we are, unfortunately.
Yeah. And I think in some ways people are going to be so, stir crazy with this cabin fever and being trapped inside that it doesn't matter what it is. They'll be like, I don't care. I want to go out. I'm going, I'll pack the bars, so I'm here to celebrate. It's, post-war or something.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what it's going to be like. And I think the thing is as well, we don't really know what's happening. Yeah. We don't know what's going to happen. We just kind of have to go day by day. But there is going to be an end to this. There is. But the entertainment industry, do you know how that could recover? Like, how do you think it could recover?
I think that this helps people maybe find new ways to do things and become more creative. I think that it does help. It's interesting to see, all the promoters, how they were able to do all this. I know that, like, with the Haters Roast, we did the streaming of the Haters Roast. We had a live audience and then streamed it last year, and it was a great, success. So, it's the start of this whole, digital world, because not everybody can travel to wherever to see their favorite performers. You know, not
Oh,
everybody.
absolutely. Yeah.
So
It's like,
and it opens up your eyes to so many performers. I mean, the internet as well. Like for me, back in my day, you only knew all the queens in your town and maybe the following town over. But now I can know queens who are in, you know, Melbourne, Australia, you know, India, wherever. So it's really opened us up to so much, you know, that that we're lucky to have. So, and I think that's a great thing about, you know, the LGBTQIA plus whatever everything community. We are such a community that we stick by each other and we help each other because we're all we have, you know.
We've seen the communities coming together in the UK, and you have clearly seen it happening in the USA. I think going forward, we're going to just see more of that, more of the people realizing, oh, I am accountable for this. I need to support this person.
Yeah.
At the moment, I feel it's happening, but we're a bit halted. I think everyone needs to quickly catch up and figure out we're in this together. Shit's got real.
Yeah. And we also need to figure out, you know, I know that even for me in my case, I'm sort of like, you know, taking this moment to be like, okay, well, how long is this going to be? What do I have? Do I have everything I need? Is it necessary for me to leave the house? And, you know, I've said to myself, like, no, it's not. Like, I've got stuff that I can deal with. I'm trying to do like the whole low carb thing. But you know what? If it comes down to me eating rice in my house, I'll eat the rice that I have, you know, the pasta and stuff.
That's
like I have things. I'm okay. You know, I can go through the freezer and pull out the freezer burned vegetables or whatever and finally cook that up. Like I can figure this out. And I think that's the same thing with just performing. Like, okay, you know what? I'm okay right now not performing. Some of the offers that I've been given was like, oh, well, we can have you do this whole digital thing and the platform takes 20%. And of course your management will take 20%. And I'm like, okay, well then what am I left with? Like, who am I making money here? Am I making you money? Am I making me money? Is it worth it? Is it fine for me just to sort of put my life on hold right now and get the other parts of my life in order? So that's just my personal, you know, situation where I am, you know? So I think that it's going to take a while for all of us to figure it out. Some people are, you know, the sort of leaders who are like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this on this and have everything, you know, together. But then some of us.
Do you feel pressured? Because obviously a lot of local queens, not established queens, will look to you and others for what do we do, guys? Like, how do we fix this? Do you feel a bit pressured?
Not really. I mean, I know that some people are asking, but it's, I mean, we're all trying to figure it out together, and whoever's got the best idea, you know, wins. So, and especially if we can help each other to really, I don't know, expand on whatever it is that we're, you know, our projects and things. So like, even like Mrs. Kasha Davis, I know that she reads children's books, you know, to kids and whatever. And so Jennifer Garner was starting up a thing where she was reading to children. And so I sent her a message and I said, I know this is right down your alley. You know, why don't you read a story and tag them? And then maybe you'll get on their Instagram. And so then she did. And so she's like right between like, you know, some celebrity and Ellen DeGeneres or whatever. And she's on there, and it was on like the morning shows and stuff like Good Morning America. And so they had like, you know, they showed a little clip and you could see like a little picture of her. So it's all about exposure, but it's not something where I was like, oh, I'm going to start reading, you know, books to children because that's my thing. Because I don't fucking really care about kids. So, you know, they're grody. So
I agree with you there. It's not, it is obviously a world to adapt, but like, I couldn't be like getting paid to read kids' books to people. I think that would be a massive pressure. And I get where you're coming from because icky and snotty and they don't listen to you. But if a lot of people can get that and do that, and that's what people are going to buy in and they can survive until this blows over, go do it. We do this show, Darienne, for fun only. We love having amazing people on like yourself. Love knowing what you guys are up to or what you guys have been up to and how your life's kind of turning out. And especially when there's crises like this, our platform is a free platform. Everyone's welcome to have a chat. We don't care what you're up to. It isn't even about being famous. If you want to come chat, then come bloody chat. Do you know what I mean? It just so happens that we go to a lot of places, or I stalk you like I did, and then you agree to come on. that usually happens. So you know, for everyone out there, from a legend like yourself, like what do you say to everyone out there? Finally, who are isolating, who are a bit scared, who are a bit worried? What are your final words?
I would have to say that you know, it's in times of great pressure, you know, it's something great can always come out of it. You never know. Like the best thing about how far you get kicked down is how much you get back up and how resilient you can be. And you know that you will you know, you'll either cave into the pressure or you come out, you know, sparkling like a diamond. So it's you'll figure it out, and you'll find out how tough you are, and
that is definitely learning curve. I thought I had a hard like life and coming up, but this is something that I've never experienced, and I've transitioned and all that stuff.
You don't realize,
test us all.
You don't realize how free you are until it's actually taken away. You do not realize how free you are. It's insane.
And you know, the thing is that, you know, I guess when you become old and have children, you can sit there and tell them, when I was a kid, we weren't allowed outside.
In the war of the COVID-19, you did not know.
We were not allowed to
picture it, Newcastle 2020.
I know. It's like for me, when I was you know, growing up, it's like I, you know, came out during the AIDS crisis. So it's like, here you can have sex now, but it'll kill you. So
wow.
You know, I know, but we got to live through it and all that stuff. So
and we're all here together. We want to thank you. We love you. Keep me safe, and thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you for having me.
No problem. I think we're all going to come on at the end if you want to wait around. If you don't and you're busy, because there's so much to do, then it's fine. But we're all going to come back on at the end of the show. I think you've got 2 more guests, and just have a little natter and just see how we're all doing. We've got Bagger and Divina coming on as well. Thank them. But thank you so much for now. And if you're still here at the end, we'll bring you back in the studio.
All right. Let me know when I should sign back in or whatever it is.
Just yes. If you keep signed in, we're going to take you off. So no one will be able to see you. And then you'll hear us. You can listen to the show kind of thing.
Okay.
Okay. Love you loads. Thank you so much. Once again.
Bye.
Oh, she was lovely.
Oh, yes.
So, guys, of course, if you've got any other questions, we have a lot coming through. Girls, preach, I agree. Someone asked, I hate that we get these weird tech questions.
Oh, come on. Tell us.
What app are you using this on, like? Is what it says. Well, this is called StreamYard. It's our new creation that we discovered. Everyone else that's waiting, just send your comments. Of course, our next guest is Divina. Love this show. Today has been a great show. This is broken by isolation blues as well as TikTok. Like, seriously, TikTok is my life, and that's all I live for. But welcome into our stage, Divina. Welcome.
Hi.
Hiya.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I was poorly last week, so I was in proper quarantine in the bedroom, behaving like I actually had the plague.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah, but it was. I don't think it was the COVID.
Mm-hmm. Well, hopefully not.
To look forwards to. So that's nice. I think it was just regular flu, to be honest, because I didn't have. They said like the basic test is take a breath, and if you can hold it for 10 seconds without coughing, then you're probably not got it.
I didn't know that. I didn't even know that.
I mean, that's probably not true. I've probably just made it up. But like, I've read that.
Sounds good.
Yeah, sounds plausible.
Sounds marvelous.
But my breathing's been fine, and I haven't had that dry cough that they've said is a real indication of having this thing. I didn't have a dry cough at all. I had any kind of cough. So I don't think it was that. But we locked me in the bedroom. Both my housemates are in isolation. Both my housemates, I mean, my husband and my housemate. And then every time, like, he would leave food in the hallway for me or a drink or whatever. And then I had washing up liquid in here, and we've got an ensuite in the bedroom. So washing all of that before I then put it back out so that it's washing any of the virus off if it is there.
Wow. Oh my God, what a journey. Well, of course, welcome to our show. Let's get down to business.
Yeah, yeah. Can I just start this off, Davina, by saying massive fan here, Team Davina. Absolutely love you to bits. It certainly has been like a bit of a whirlwind for you since doing the show, but since the dust has settled from doing the show, have you had time to kind of like reflect on it? And, you know, if you reflect, do you think you were represented in a good way?
Yeah, I think it was very much me, to be honest. You know, I wasn't just nice, I wasn't just gorgeous and lovely, and I also wasn't a complete bitch the entire time. I was a bit of everything. I was very human. And so you saw all those parts of me where I can be quite cutting about people, and I'm quite happy to slap a bitch down when they need it. But I'm also, you know, I help people a lot. I can't stop myself. You know, if I'm doing something and I'm seeing they're doing something, and maybe I know that there's a better way of doing it, then I will go, have you thought about trying it like this? I've done it a lot, messed it up a lot, and maybe that's a better way. And, you know, sometimes that's to my detriment. And actually, I'm all right with that, because I'd rather be me than go in there and be something I'm not.
I felt like media sensationalized it. But there was a disagreement. You did bang your head with the Vivian, and, you know, shed some light on that, because I always think if I want to know some information, I'm going to ask it from the horse's mouth. Like, I get it's in editing, but I didn't really think anything you did was bad. You were just being like, you shouldn't do that, it's a bit shit, or you were just being like the center of attention because it's a drag show. Like, hello, like, ooh, this is the reason you're here. Like, how do you feel about all that?
Well, I mean, it is what it is, and in that environment, it's very, very difficult to explain to anybody how pressurized it is unless you've been in that situation. You know, like any reality TV contest, it's an enormously pressured environment. So of course people are going to disagree with each other, and things that people say affect you in a different way than they would do in the outside world, you know, because there's just you there. So, you know, there's not this opportunity to
have a breather.
Yeah, exactly.
All that stuff, yeah.
It doesn't matter to say, it's fine. So, yeah, there were disagreements, but it wasn't that bad. And it wasn't like I called her a bitch or said she was shit or anything. I didn't, because I don't believe that. You know, so we had a disagreement. It happened.
That's just the media, isn't it? The media just does that. The media can take anything you say and totally twist it.
Yeah, of course. And then, you know, it's
so
like
then people believe it. That's the thing. People then believe it.
No.
And it's like you can watch the show, see it in black and white exactly what you said, and you're like, where's he got that story from?
It's much like with any conversation that you have with anybody. If you have that conversation away from, you know, somebody else, then it gets relayed to them. Well, obviously, things which you've actually said get missed out. It's not carried on, you know. So nobody ever has the full picture apart from the people who were there at the time. So
exactly. And we have a question from our audience. Woo! So Zach has messaged us and says, watching you on the show and seeing your relationship with your family, I felt we really got to see the real Divina. With your glittering CV, I really see you rooted as a theatre queen. How do you feel about the influx of reality stars and drag becoming more reality show based? Do you feel that drag has lost its theatre roots?
No, I don't think so. I think there's a different emphasis. There's more of an emphasis on look than there is on, you know, necessarily what you do. I don't think that's 100% a bad thing. I mean, I don't even think that that's necessarily that much of the case here, because we, you know, Danny LaRue was one of our most famous drag queens ever, and nobody would say that he wasn't theatre based, but he was also very much about how he looked. You know, the costumes and the jewelry and the makeup, everything was, you know, very much part of what he did. Do I think I'm a theatre queen? Oh, I don't know that I would say I'm a theatre queen, because I've done so many different things. Do you know what I mean? So I've done bar work and done club kid stuff and done promo and done really arts stuff, you know, kind of real postmodern art scene stuff, which you would look at and go, what is this? I don't understand what this is. What's going on? You know, you need to spend a couple of weeks pulling it apart before you really understand what was going on in it anyway. And then I've done stuff where, you know, I am just treading the boards and kicking my legs around and doing that. So I don't like to box myself in and say, well, this is all that I do. And, you know, because I've never worked that way ever. I've always worked.
Well, you've done so much. You've done TV, stage, your one-woman show. You've done like so much. But over the years, you must have came across, and especially after RuPaul, some crazy fans. And we want to know, like, what has been your most crazy experience with a fan where you've just thought, did that just happen? Like, what the hell? Whether it be good or bad.
Yeah.
I don't think I've had any, like, experiences where I would be like, not yet. I mean, I need to touch some wood here, touch the frame. I've had like quite a lot of people telling people stories that aren't true. That's happened quite a few times. Like, I've got a mutual friend of this one person, and they told them that I had gone round to their house, and they'd been shopping, and the doorbell had gone, and when they'd come back into the house, I was upstairs trying on all of their new clothes.
What? Why would that happen? That is so strange.
Why would that happen? Exactly. Why would that happen? So, I mean, there's that kind of level of crazy where people just make stuff up about you. I mean, I'd never even been to this person's house. You know, I don't.
Wow, that is so strange.
Normally go round to that many people's houses anyway. I'm a busy person. I've got shit to do. I'm not going to hang around, you know, sitting eating cake and drinking tea at your house when actually I've got loads of stuff that I need to do myself for work. So the idea that I'd have A, been round at our house, and then B, been round at our house and then trying on her clothes when we are completely different sizes as well, and why I was wearing something from TK Maxx and going, yeah, I love this, let me get on stage, woo! That's happened. But there's been quite a lot of that where people have kind of made up stories and said, you know, that I'd done this or done that, and it like, no,
never happened.
But I mean, whatever floats your boat. If talking about me doing things is what makes you happy, then you go for that. But when that information comes back to me, I will refute that because it's a load of bull.
Yeah, at least the creative. Look at it that way. At least the creative.
Exactly. They're busy, you know, making up stories. Weirdo.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, as we know, you are a star of stage and screen. But you know, I suppose you do keep your private life and your husband to yourself. Is that just because he's a little bit shy, or does he just let you take center stage?
He is very shy, actually, but you wouldn't know that when you meet him. So, like, if he's with me and he's running the merch table, or you know, he's whatever, he's very good at talking to people. But he is actually very, very shy. I don't know that I keep him out of things that much, a little bit, but just because this isn't his job. So he didn't want to do this, you know, whereas I have bought in to do this. So talking to people and meeting with fans and stuff like that. That's part of what the job is. So that's fine with me, but it's not his job. So
Yeah.
that might be part of why, you know, it might feel like I keep him a bit away from it.
We've seen obviously that you're involved and support so many charities, as do we, as much as we can. How do you feel now, since COVID-19 is affecting the world? And we both know, and I think you know as well, charities will be hit first. Do you think we need to be doing more? Of course, we need to survive. You need to survive, and other performers. But everyone else that really did support charities, I think they need to still have them in the back of the mind. Because if we forget about them, they're going to go under.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, especially with a lot of the charities that I support, like George House Trust, they are supporting people who are already vulnerable. So those people don't just stop being vulnerable because this has happened. If anything, it makes them more vulnerable.
Yeah.
So absolutely, yes, people still need to be supporting charities where and if they can. But what I will say on that is all of the self-employed people, all of your performers and your artists and your creatives are all going to be really hit hard by this, because currently there is no provision from the government. Hooray! Oh shit! Oh, that's
I know. But
so,
yeah.
all of those people, you know, I'm lucky. I am incredibly lucky in that the tours and stuff that I've done this year has meant that I've been able to put some money to one side. That money was allocated for other things, but it means that I'm not going to starve anytime soon. I'm going to be okay for, you know, the next 3-4 months. Whereas most of the people that I know who work in this area are living check to check, week to week. And so with there being no provision for them at all, that means they're going to be absolutely screwed. So your friends and those other queens that you go and see week on, week in, week out, who keep the scene running for you, if you are in the fortunate position of having that 80% of your wage guaranteed, then if possible, pass it along a little bit. Because
I thought, because my father does disco karaoke's.
Yeah.
So no clubs, no work. But I said to him, I said, why don't you approach like the clubs you worked at for like 15 years and say, like, can you at least give us half what you would give us on that night? And then when I come back to work, it'll just be half to keep it flowing. And I mean, 2 or 3 said maybe we'll think about it. But all of them should have said, yeah, we will, because every bar, after working, you've been in the industry, a lot of us have, bars get an entertainment allowance. So it would be there anyway, even if they just dug into it a little bit to help people who really are going to massively struggle. And I felt that was the same with drag queens. If they had gigs or booked in concerts or events, I hope that the organisers are thinking, well, can we pay you a little bit, or what do we do? Do you think they should be?
I don't know. I think this is a really difficult question because, like most people, most bars and clubs are about 3 weeks from, 3 bad weeks from closing anyway.
Yeah.
So the likelihood is that there's going to be less bars and clubs by the time we come out of this anyway. And I'm not sure that the, a lot of it comes down to your rates, your rents, the mortgages that people are paying, blah, 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 all of that stuff. And I'm not sure that the mortgage holidays are actual holidays. These aren't just being tacked on to the end. It's going to increase your monthly mortgage.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was saying that the other day. This isn't you don't have to pay your rent. This is we'll come back to you for that money.
Yeah.
How's that good?
That doesn't work for most people because, well,
they'll always be in debt now. They'll never get out of this.
After this, it doesn't mean that suddenly there's going to be, I'm earning an extra £120 a month. I can totally pay that back. That's great. No problem. That's not going to happen. So something very seriously needs to be looked at about that, because while people can't pay their mortgage, it doesn't mean that as soon as they start being able to pay that mortgage again, that they're going to be able to pay extra on top of what they were already doing. Because like with most people living week to week, most of us are living very, very close to what our means actually are. You know, very few
Oh, yeah, definitely.
can put money to one side and say, okay, every month I'm going to put £100 away. Very few of us can do that. So, so the idea that this is a holiday mortgage is not right either. So I think a lot of venues are in really difficult positions themselves, and will be looking at, you know, the people who get cut first are always the entertainment staff. Always, whenever a venue starts to struggle, it's always the entertainment staff who go first. And that's why at this point it's the government that have to step in and start looking at how do they ensure some income for self-employed people, because we can look to venues, but the likelihood is all we're going to do is speed up the demise of them and mean that there's going to be no work for us afterwards anyway.
What about the online stuff? Do you think would you consider doing shows online, or be part of multiple streaming events that obviously take payment or tips, or however it would be?
I am doing a show on the 4th. It's part of Producer Entertainment Group's Digital Drag Fest. So they're doing a big drag fest, which is including lots and lots and lots of people. And the way that they're running that is they're selling tickets for it.
Right.
So Dragger is also involved in that, and Blue Hydrangea, and you know, various. There's a lot of people involved in it. Will I do lots of those? Probably not, because as I've just said, I've been really lucky
enough, yeah,
I've been able to put a little bit of money to one side, which will see me through for a couple of months. And I'm very, very aware that lots of the girls in my industry and lots of people who run choirs and, you know, visual artists aren't in that position. They've not been able to put that money aside. And so I think there is a responsibility from people like me who've got a bigger platform to kind of, at this point, redress some of that balance. And so I can share when other people have got a show that they're doing from their living room. I can share that information without being one of those who's trying to cash in on it.
Oh, that's a really nice way of looking at it. I really like that. Like, rather than you do the show, you're sharing their show to support them. I really like that.
Yeah. And that's not me saying that anybody else who is doing this or
no, not at all,
behaving the way that I'm saying I'm going to approach it. It's just I'm in a really fortunate position. I am fully aware that quite a lot of girls who are like me, Ru girls, don't have that safety net. You know, lots of those girls do not have that safety net. So lots of them are still just working the same as anybody else is, check to check, and trying to make ends meet. I've been very fortunate this year. I've been able to do multiple tours, and therefore that money has been, you know, put to one side. Yeah, exactly.
But I think we just got to help. I truly do see that so many people are helping each other, and communities really, really, really are coming together. But me and Faye were talking about this today, and we're thinking it's all happening now. Communities are coming together now. But when this is over, you know, is that going to continue? Or are we just going to go back to the old ways? You know, like, are we just going to go back to being quite I don't want to say self-centered.
Selfish. Selfish.
A little bit more selfish.
In nature, we are selfish.
Yeah, but at the moment, I'm seeing that, you know, a lot of people are coming together a lot more and are helping people in whatever way we can. But it's just once this crisis is over, is that going to continue, or is it just going to be the same old, same old?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not Septic Peg. I don't have a crystal ball. Septic Peg. I don't know. I think
you could do that live, asking for tips. Septic Peg.
No,
let's get that organised.
I feel that there is a future.
Well, the way the government is handling it, I don't know if there is a future. What do you think about our government, the way we've dragged our feet?
I think that's exactly what we've done. We've dragged our feet. And I think that there is an element of neo-capitalism at play with that they've been so desperate to keep the government out of having to step in that actually they've put more people at risk. And it's felt a little bit like, we saw that this was coming. Everybody else has seen that it's been coming. If you talk to anybody who's on the continent, who understands what's been happening there and the measures that have been taken there, they've been looking at us and going, what are you doing? Why are you taking...
Hello, come on, Boris.
Like, if we'd taken the measures that you could be taking now 3 weeks ago, we wouldn't be in the position that we are. That's literally what people in Italy have been saying to us. And yet we have just waited and waited and waited. And I don't think Boris is the right person for this job. Whether he's listening to people who do know what they're on about or not, I just cannot see how Boris Johnson can, in any world, be relied upon to make the decisions that will protect us. I just don't see how that is a thing.
I always feel
that's what I think.
That Boris is like, when you can see your mum out the corner of your eye telling you what to say to the teacher, and he's like, yes, money, isolate. He's like so bad. I'm like, is he reading? What's he doing? It's so
There's
bad.
Somebody in his ear, man. There's somebody in his ear telling him what to say.
Yeah, but unfortunately, the person telling him what to say in his ear doesn't really know what they should be telling him to do anyway.
No, absolutely.
So I think there's issues there with competency. And I mean, they're finally starting to do something, which is positive, and I am really grateful for what they're finally starting to do. But I think a lot of this should have been happening 2 or 3 weeks ago, when
100% agree.
It became absolutely clear how dangerous and how massive this was going to be. Sorry about it.
I agree so much. I agree so much.
But, it is what it is. We are where we are. And just stay inside, people.
Exactly.
Stay inside.
Well, that's what we're trying to say to people. We're just trying... If me and Faye can not go out the house and not see each other, anybody can do it, because we literally see each other like every day. This is so weird. I mean, not being back together doing this show.
Having had a whole week being locked in quarantine in my bedroom, I haven't left the bedroom for a full week.
Well, I must admit, I do have one thing to say. I'm thankful to COVID-19 is all you girls respond to me now, and I get you on the show. So it's brilliant for us. It's everyone. I was like, Jossie, Davina, Jossie Baggett, Jossie, everyone's responded, and Jossie was just like, what's happening? I was like, it's great.
Tell us the day, tell us the time.
It was so good for us.
Yeah.
We loved it. It's been great, but the rest of the world has gone crazy. And people are going crazy, buying crazy stuff.
Yeah.
But if you had to choose, Davina, and you were getting 2 essentials from Sainsbury's, we'll say, what would you be your 2 essentials?
What are the things that are bread? Oh my God, all the bread. I love bread.
All the bread.
All of the bread, not just one slice, you want it all.
Just
You're the one buying all the bread.
All of the bread, please.
Just buy lots of bread. And what other essential? I mean, some Vitalite or some peanut butter so that I can have that on my bread.
Oh,
Just bread. Yeah, I'd probably just buy
the
bread.
diet of bread and
Yeah.
peanut butter. We can mix it
The
up, you know
diet
what I
of
mean?
bread.
You can have bread, you can have toast, you can have dry toast, you can have dry bread, you can just eat
eggy
the
bread,
peanut butter out
eggy
of
bread.
the tub.
Eggy bread.
Oh, you got no eggs? You've got no eggs. You've got no eggs. So
Eggs. No, but I've got lots of bread and a toaster, so I'm happy because I could
Exactly, all is well in your world.
all do well at that point. Yeah. What would your
Do you
thing?
have any? Pardon?
What would you have bought for your two?
What
your
would I have bought? Oh,
Bovril for me.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because no. The heel is out. Bovril
puts
I
it
can
on
put on
toast.
toast, but I can also drink it.
Yes.
And second thing, God, so many things I would really need. Oh, I don't know. This is so hard. I feel like I'm under pressure. I'm not. Probably the nail file because I hate getting a nick on my nail, chewing it down. I'd want to be able to file that out with me Bovril. Jobs are good. I'll meet you later as well because I'll get your bread for the Bovril and
Love that.
we're gonna have a party. Josie, what about you?
Oh, well, seeing as I think we're going to be sharing some bread with Divina, obviously Nutella, I can't do without Nutella. Like, I actually can't. Like,
God,
I
we're
always
gonna be
must have
so
Nutella.
fat with bread, Nutella, and
And
Bovril.
probably because I'm a little bit scared what my eyebrows are going to look like in a few weeks. I need a tweezer. I need it. I'm going to have to go back to the old school and tweeze my eyebrows. I'm going to have year 2002 eyebrows again. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that would be mine.
Well, it seems that we're all set. So finally, Divina, for everyone out there watching, we have so many messages, and if you're still here at the end, we can go through them when we've had our final guest on. We'll bring everyone back on. But what do you say to everyone out there? Worried, scared, isolating? What would your final word be?
Well, look, Rapunzel managed for 21 years. I think we can manage for 3 weeks. I think it'll be all right. Don't worry about it.
Final word, you heard it here first. If Rapunzel can do it, we can do it. Thank you so much for joining us. If you want to stay on, obviously we'll shut your screen down, but then we'll come back on in the end. If you're busy or you just need to do stuff, don't worry, we understand. But thank you so much for joining us.
All right, loves.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, she was lovely.
We are going to have a great time if we all get isolated together.
I
Bread,
know.
tweezers, nail file, and lots of stuff to spread it on. You're going to have to start liking Bovril, Josie. Honestly, you really are.
No, I've got my Nutella. I am fine.
Well, while we wait for our final guest to join us, I'll be notified when she does. We just want to, of course, talk to some of the comments and some of the people watching. A lot of people have been sending their love. We love you. Davina, no one loves us. Oh, just this one person just like, stay inside and wash your hands. I know I am. I wash it all the time. Marina, oh, you're so sweet. We love you, Davina. Oh, that is so nice. We're going to go through all these. We'll put them on screen. I'm just getting a message from Bagger. I'm just going to have a look. I think I did. I'm sure something just came out on my phone.
Well,
Anyway.
This little girl.
Yeah, so a lot of people just been sending their love to Darienne, to everyone. And the same, it seems like we have a real group here. Davina, we love you. Davina's like, don't even need 2 items, just want me bread. Yes, Davina. It is all about our bread. Like literally, when she goes back on tour, we will present live on our show bread. I might even get it glittered, because by then we'll be fine. Just a big, in fact, one-woman show, Divina, if you're listening, bread. Bring it back. So we're just waiting for everybody to join us, but how are you guys enjoying the show? Don't forget, please share, like, and support and all that drama that everyone likes to do. But we just want to let you all know that we're having a really, really good time today, and we're really enjoying ourselves. This is the reason we do this.
But
And
it's a
for everyone
great.
out there, your two things, everyone who's still watching, what would your two things be? We want to hear from you and see what you guys will be taking. We are just waiting for Bagger, who's late. Is she late? She might not be late. Ready now.
Yeah.
I've messaged her. I don't have her number. I just have her on my Insta. But I'm sure we're full of busy. Oh, Davina, give her a text. Give her a text. She's probably busy. I forgot, bless her. But yes, so guys, of course, as we've heard from our guests, it is crazy out there. The USA is going a bit crazy. I love this, Jossie. It's so you. Walkers and chocolate. Not even a flavour of Walkers. Anyone will do. Salt and vinegar, cheese and onion. What is your... I'm a prawn cocktail girl.
Well, that's what. So when people say, when me and Faye say that we are total opposites, and people are like, really? We're like, oh yeah, we are. She likes bother.
Well, yeah, I've got the good lighting.
What?
I've got the good lighting, Jossie, remember? No, but it's been, it is scary times that we live in, and it is worrying. And I think just by seeing, obviously, Darienne and Divina, different parts of the world completely, and for us, because we're up north. But this has affected us all, and we all need to kind of come together as a bloody... Sorry, I'm just reading the comments, Jossie. Pot noodles and Pringles. What do you think of that?
I'll have the Pringles.
I'm okay for a pot noodle.
Pot noodle, I'll take a leave. If you bought me Pringles, I would shake your hand. I love Pringles.
And what kind of Pringles do you love? I mean, what is your favorite Pringles for this? Salt and vinegar.
So after my operation, I had a craving, and I would only eat one thing for about 3 days, and that was salt and vinegar Pringles. I lived on them, and I honestly, even now, I'm like, I could go and get some, but I can't because it's unnecessary to go out of the shops.
Alistair says wine and pasta. Oh, pesto. Pesto. Sour cream. Oh, yes, I like sour cream. Yeah. Oh, I like sour cream.
Bacon and catnip.
Of course.
I hate bacon.
Well, before we bring in our next guest, which I'm sure she's coming, she's just taking her time. What does everyone feel about now that it has changed from the kind of go, be safe, we are as a nation on lockdown? How are you guys out there dealing? We've got a few people who messaged in as we're speaking. Samantha, who says she's really struggling with her mental health. We send love to you, Samantha. And if you need to personally chat with us, please message us. We will make the time to talk. We have James, who is from Southport, who doesn't understand why we can't just go out as long as we keep our distance. I think it's people aren't keeping their distance. So I think
it's for the distance now. So they've said on the news that basically it's limiting the spread. It's got nothing to do with the distance. It's the amount of people out on the streets, and it's trying to stop the amount of people who are going to get it. Now there's a very interesting, it's not really a graph, but it's like a picture, and it's got one body, and one person can infect 30, and then 30 will connect so many. But if we cut that number in half of who's out, then it reduces massively. We are going to see the numbers go up. We are. But what I don't want to say hoping for, because I think how can we hope for this? But numbers are going to go up, but let's hope they're not as big as they have been. So instead of 87, let's hope tomorrow the number's less. So the number is less each day. But the thing is, it's like a backlog. So they've said on the news, you know, people will get corona, but they don't get symptoms until so many days after, and people don't get seriously ill until a few days after that. Now, with everybody who was out at the weekend, and going to the beach and all those scenes, those people aren't going to be infected probably until next week. So the numbers will still be going up despite us being on the lockdown. We're not going to see the benefits of the lockdown probably for another week. Obviously, I'm no expert. I'm kind of just...
Sorry, Josie, I've just made the comment, Josie. So, like, literally, typical bag of chips, Tory, fashionably late. You better get her ass. Bag her out of here, being consistent. Or, you know what? I think we, obviously, everyone's dealing with things differently. We have no idea of what is going on in people's lives. So if Bagger can't make it, that's not an issue. We're going to bring the other two back on, and we're going to chat to them a little bit before we finish the show. So that's not an issue. We've got to understand and we've got to remember we have no idea what's going on in their lives. I feel like a saint when I say things like that, Josie. I do.
Well, never thought I'd say that in the same sentence.
We've got a lot of people sharing love to the girls, sharing love to us, and of course, just reminding us to be safe. God, I'm really sweating in here. I have so many lights, by the way, guys. As you can see, Josie has no light in her house. I have a full setup of light from the ceiling on me because I don't want to look like crap when I'm on light. It's definitely the diva over here. But no, I mean, let we not forget, this is a time of crisis. But luckily through our show, we can bring people a bit of laughter, a bit of fun, and a couple of hours of just random chatting with some amazing people from around the world. I'm not sure if Bagger is going to come back. I mean, come on, because she is very, very busy. Of course, not in isolation or anything, Bagger. But we do have Darienne and Divina, so if we'll give them a few second warning, we'll bring you guys back to finish the show and hopefully try and organise with Bagger another time, unless she joins us midway, maybe. But yeah, I'm going to bring the girls. Sorry, say I'm dying. Everyone back on just to say a final thought and a goodbye, and of course, just wish everyone well. Do a four-way. Hello.
We've never done four before.
Hello.
I've never done a foursome before.
Oh, you've never done
a 4G.
So, guys, I think Bagger must be busy. Davina, I don't know what. It's fine, schedules and stuff. She must have 20 million other lives to do. Bless her. But no, obviously a final word to everyone, guys, before we go. To your fans who are watching, there's been so many comments. We love you, Darienne, legend, Davina. Just so many nice, loving words have been sent over this episode. And we just thought we'd bring you back on just so you can say your final goodbyes to everyone and wish them some love and so on.
Well, hopefully it's not my final goodbye.
I meant on our show. Yeah. On our show.
Well, if it's my final goodbye and I drop dead, Divina, you can have all my clothes and my drag. So.
Oh, amazing. I'm so excited about that. Thanks, Darienne.
You're welcome. I've got a few silver dresses and a couple of red wigs. I would say, like, you know, we'll get through this, everybody. So let's have some fun. And you know, boredom's not the lack of anything to do; it's the refusal to do anything. So
exactly.
Exactly.
I second that, Darienne. I will second that.
Well, we just want to give you a huge round of applause before you go.
Well, thank you.
Because that's something that we're not going to have much of over the next couple of weeks is applause. So we're going to give you it. But we love you guys and thank you for joining us. And if you see Bagger and tell her I'm going to whip her ass.
That's right.
And hopefully we can get you guys on when we're all back to normal and we'll see your shows that I'm sure will be busier than ever once we're out of this lockdown.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
A foursome, Josie.
Well, seen it here first.
Awesome. I like it. Well, unfortunately, guys, Bagger is out of action.
Well, you know,
I'll message her now,
uncertain
and I'm sure
times.
she'll be it for our Friday show or towards the end of this show. We are finishing soon. But before we finish, we just want to say to everybody out there, Tori, Danqui, Sarah, Steve, Sal, there's so many. We love you guys. It is a pleasure to still do the show. We're glad you all tune in, and we will continue to try and get you unbelievable guests from around the bloody world.
Yes, that is what we're aiming for. So if anybody would like to be on our show and share their story from wherever you are in the world, we would like to hear from you. This is something that we are all going through as one world. So let's have a world conversation. Or I guess get everyone in, everybody.
Yes. Should I give Bagger a ring, do you think? Oh, well.
She's gonna.
No.
So you're gonna.
No.
Unfortunately,
Our final word on Bagger, she can't make it, but everyone is
right.
really, really busy trying to keep ahead of this
Yeah,
virus.
it's very uncertain times. Things are changing all the time. You know, we have to roll with it as well as anybody else. But, you know, invitation is still open to Bagger to come on at another time.
Oh, yes, we'll definitely get back on the show. We'll announce it as soon as possible. But
yeah,
for me, goodbye. And remember, guys, stay safe. And for heaven's sake, share this goddamn video.
I know. And from me as well, just as well as Faye said, keep yourself safe. We can get through this. We're all going through it together. So let's support each other and let's just get through it.
But 2 seconds. Jossie, sorry. I feel like an idiot to do that. But
You said goodbye.
I did say goodbye. But we're going to wait an extra 10 minutes. I've been asked, okay? So, obviously, guys, there's so much that we didn't discuss in the start because we jumped straight into our guests. So we're still here. So if you're still watching, then stay. We want to hear from you. You're right, Jossie. What is and who do you know around the world so we can create a full grouped conversation? So we want to have about 5 nations, 5 different places. Of course, us in the UK. But we want a couple of different other locations. If you guys know anyone or have contacts with people who can, because we want to really see what's happening around the world. Other people have been affected by this, not just England, everywhere else. And we've seen USA, but we want to see other places. So if you guys know, then get in touch and let us know. Drop us a PM, drop us a direct message. Going forward, we are launching Real Talk every week. And that's going to be a multi-person interview system where everyone will get the link to join us. And then you can just join in and there's no stress. There's no hassle. It's just simple. Join in with a link. Talk about how you're experiencing it, how you're feeling, what you're going through. And then we'll add other people and keep going. We want to keep Britain talking. At the end of the day, we just had, people forget, 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks ago, we were having like a national mental health impact on society, and now we have a massive pandemic, and like we've got no luck, guys. It's really difficult at the moment. We don't seem to be having any luck with anything, and it's a shame. And I think, Jossie, you're experiencing this more and more with your line of work, isn't that correct?
Well, yeah, like I was saying before, if people didn't see the start of the show, so basically anybody who's working in healthcare like I am, health and social care, we're really on the front line as well as all the nurses and the doctors. We're looking after, some of the most vulnerable groups, and we have to keep them safe. So by doing that, we have to keep ourselves safe. So I am now on social isolation. I can only leave the house to go to work, walk with my dogs, and go to the shops for absolute essentials. Now, it's only early days. This is going to go on for a few weeks, and reality is kind of starting to set in. I have 2 birthdays coming up next month, my mum's and my grandma's. I can't see them on either. And I probably can't see my dad. And my dad is 60 this year. So I'm now going ahead thinking, oh, wow, all that stuff that was going to get planned can't happen now. But what's keeping me going, and I would like to, so this is my little advice to everyone, is there is going to be an end to this. This is going to end. And what's keeping me going is when I see my loved ones, well, I don't know, but when I see my loved ones, when this ends and it is safe to do so, I am going to give them the biggest hug ever. Because it was hard today seeing my mum through the kitchen window, and not being able to run to her and go, hey, you know, how are you? In my mum's partner, my stepmom, being unable to have that connection. And I know you experienced that today as well with your family. We're all going through it. You know, it's your partner's birthday tomorrow, and normally we all go out. So normally we're planning what we're doing. We would have been going out this weekend. That can't happen.
I mean, it's hindered all of my plans. But yeah, you're right. It's affecting us all. It's really scary. And I think all we can keep doing is our shows, and of course keeping safe. And remember, guys, if you're outside, social distance and means space, not standing like face to face, having a chat about random stuff.
And well, you're going to get fined. So if your social gatherings of no more than 2 people, the only time that you probably you could see like maybe 3 or 4 people together is if it's the same household. But I think
I've just got some information sent in. Can you see it?
Yeah. My GCSEs got cancelled because of Corona. It was the most stressful thing ever. Feeling like 3 years of work had gone to waste, but just got to stay safe and positive. So
wow.
The thing is, everything's been put on hold. So I believe, but I'm not really in the education world, but I believe that you know, the GCSEs are going to happen. They're just not going to happen this year. For everybody, everything has changed. And I just try to think to myself, wow, if this had happened 20 years ago, I was in year 9, I was doing my SATs, that would have all been cancelled. Like,
this is another thing as well that I want to touch upon, and we haven't really touched upon. Imagine if you were in the final year of your transition.
So right, that's an interesting one. I've seen in a few groups a lot of people obviously very upset that their surgery is cancelled. I can see the frustration. I can see the frustration.
Massively.
I just think to myself, so if it was
as
me
a trans woman, if I was told you can't have surgery because obviously there's a big virus, I would understand. But I would be so hurt that this had happened to me, and people need to understand that. We're not agreeing with them like let's fight it, because I'm sorry, you can't have.
No, you can't. It's absolutely you can't.
But I empathise with you. Just going Chrissy Sanderson, self-isolating. She's got symptoms and she's scared, Jossie.
Oh, Chrissy. So
we're all scared, Chrissy.
You're doing the right thing by self-isolating. If you're showing symptoms, I think you're just going to have to take it each day and monitor yourself. If it gets any worse, of course, ring 111. But Chrissy, if you're feeling that, you know, you want to talk to me or Faye, you know, absolutely just message us. You know, you know we're always there for you. You know, me and Chrissy, we go back years. I've known her since I was in primary school. So, you know, Chrissy, I know you, and if you would like to message me or Faye, you know, we will be here to chat to you at any time.
And that's a great way to end the show, actually, Jossie. Our final word is we are here as well. We are not just here on a live show. You can message us for advice, and if we can help or just be there to talk, we're always there. But for now, guys, I'm really hot and sweaty. I've been Faye Louise Purdom. Please be safe. And don't forget, like, seriously, be kind. Like, that's so forgotten quickly. Be kind.
Yeah. So yes, and it's goodbye from me. I have been Jossie, and my final word is wash your hands, you dirty pig.
Thank you and good night. See you later, guys. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and like us on all of our socials. Bye, guys.
Okay, bye guys.
Oh, bye, guys. Bye, guys. Jossie, I'm going to miss everyone.
Bye.
Oh, bye, guys.